Hey y'all, welcome to Pleiadian Point of View. I'm Peyton, and I'm a Pleiadian channel and starseed coach. So, in today's point of view, the Pleiadians wanted to talk with us a little bit about how to create change in our lives. Because for most of us, as we scroll through our life, there's probably a thing here or there that you wish you could release. Something that just isn't serving you anymore, or that you kind of wish you hadn't created. But most of us aren't really sure how to go about doing that, how to release something that isn't serving us anymore. So in today's video, the P's wanted to give us a little bit of guidance on that, to share a technique that can help you with some of those things you've been trying to let go of. But before we jump into the specifics of how to do that, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. So, as we are all looking at our lives and kind of just taking stock of what is working and what is not working quite so well, there are probably a few things that you are ready to let go of. So, this may be something that you have manifested and kind of wish you hadn't, or something that's just not working for you, not serving you anymore, that feels like you've outgrown it, perhaps. And the P's say that there are some common mistakes that they see us making as humans when we're trying to let go of something. Now, the first mistake that the P's say that we can fall into as humans is we tend to start pushing against things. So if there is something in your life that is causing you distress, maybe it is, say, something going on with the physical body, something that is causing you pain or discomfort or worry, and you would really like to release that. One of the things that we can slide into without realizing it is pushing against it. And we can get into fear if it is something that we're trying to release and haven't been able to. And fear comes up a lot with anything going on with the body, right? We can get a little freaked out when our bodies are doing weird things or not feeling good. Or we can get into just resistance with it, being frustrated with it, being aggravated with it, and just wanting this thing to be gone. But what the P's wanted us to understand is that whenever we are pushing against something, whenever we are rejecting something, that we are keeping ourselves in a state of separation from it. So when we are pushing against something or fearing it, we're just in a state of judgment. And what happens when we are judging something is we are freezing that energy. So we are freezing that manifestation. So what happens is when we are judging something, and it could be something going on with us, it can be something physical in our life that's just not going well. When we are resisting something and trying to reject it because we don't want it anymore, what happens is we create kind of a rock in our energy field. So we create stuck and frozen energy. And that doesn't sound so bad, right? But what happens when we have stuck and frozen energy in our energy field is it creates kind of like a rock in our energy field. And what happens then is it starts to manifest. So you can see where I'm going. That is where things get a little sticky. So the more we have stuck and frozen emotions in our energy field, the more we are creating things that match our unwanted manifestation. So we create more things that glue that unwanted thing to you. Because what happens is we are freezing the energy, and energy wants to be in motion. But when we are suppressing something or avoiding something or resisting something or judging it, we freeze the energy, which means it's not moving through us. And it gets stuck in our energy field where it starts to build steam. It starts to get stronger. And what happens is we keep that unwanted thing frozen in our life. We are trying to get away from it, and it is like it is super glued to us. And that is because we have frozen the energy in our energy field. So as long as that energy is stuck in us, we are stuck with that unwanted thing. Because that energy that is frozen in our energy field is always creating. It's always sending out a frequency. So it is going to hold on to anything that matches that frequency. And it's going to continue to attract more. So that's what we don't want. We don't want to get this energy frozen in our energy field. So what do we do about this? And before we jump into the solution to the problem, if you ever want to know more about all of these amazing tools that the Pleiadians teach in these videos, just click the link in the description to work with me one-on-one. So what do we do about this then? When we know that we're in resistance with something and we don't want to let that turn into that rock in the energy field. Well, according to the Pleiadians, our goal with anything we find that we are struggling with is to get into neutrality with it. So how do we actually do that? How do you get neutral about something that is making you nuts? Something that sets your hair on fire? How do you get neutral about it? Because for a lot of us, what we do when these sticky areas come up in our life is we either try to avoid it when it comes up, right? We distract ourselves, we turn on the TV, we fire up social media, we numb ourselves with substances, or we can get into avoiding and suppressing, where we just try to think positive over the top of it. And as we know, that never works. So how do you actually get neutral about something that's making you crazy? Well, the first thing that the Pleiadians always encourage is to bring that thing, whatever that unwanted manifestation is, into your heart, because your heart is the portal to your higher self. It is the connection point to the broader part of your consciousness. An interesting thing happens as you start to bring these unwanted things in your life into your heart. The first thing is that by bringing something into your heart, you strip the negative imprinting from it. So any negative frequencies that are attached to that manifestation, any limiting beliefs that are attached to it, get dissolved in the heart. So it's one of the reasons that our heart is so powerful, bringing everything into the heart space. The other thing that happens as you bring something into your heart is you reclaim it as part of yourself. Because whenever we are resisting something, judging something, we're keeping ourselves in separation. We are invalidating that thing. We're making it lesser. We're saying, I don't want that. I reject that. And when we do that, we keep ourselves separate from it. But here's the thing. Everything in our reality is our energy. It is part of us. So when we start to reject something in our life, we are rejecting a part of ourselves. Because as the P's have said 100 times, it's all you. So when we are keeping ourselves separate from our energy, our creation, even if it's not what we would prefer, we're rejecting ourselves. So that's one of the reasons why as we bring that thing into our heart space, we start to dissolve the separation. We reclaim our energy. And as soon as we are no longer in a state of resisting it, of judging it, we don't need to have it as a reflection in our life anymore. We only glue it into our life when we're pushing against it. So the way that we counteract that is by bringing that thing, whether that is a person who is aggravating you, whether that is a problem going on in your life, or something that is going wrong that you just can't see the solution to. When you bring that into your heart, you dissolve the resistance. You dissolve the separation, and then you put the energy back into motion. And it doesn't get stuck in your energy field anymore, and it doesn't have to get stuck in your life. So the big key, according to the Pleiadians, is pulling it back into your heart. Now, the next question is, how do you know if it worked? Because when you first start to do this little practice that the P's have been teaching for years of pulling things into your heart, you want to know if it actually worked. Well, the way that you know that this has worked on a particular issue is when you can look at that thing that used to stress you out or make you mad or put you in fear and be absolutely neutral. Have no emotional reaction at all. That is when you know you have integrated the energy. Because when you are no longer pushing against it, that is your sign, your little pat on the back from the universe that you have integrated the energy. Because we have to show the universe that our reaction to that thing has changed. Because as long as we are still reacting in judgment or in anger or in fear, we're showing the universe we have not learned our lesson. So the way we learn our lesson is by integrating the energy and by being neutral with it. And this means neutral without suppression. So we're not hiding from it. We're not, looking the other way, putting blinders on, pretending it's not there. When we can actually look it straight in the face and feel neutrality. Realize that this is just something that we created that we would like to repurpose. And once you can do that, you will know that you have successfully integrated the energy. And until we can do that, until we look at these little upsets in our life with neutrality, it will continue to reflect to us. So this is how we show the universe we have learned our lesson, that we don't need that particular reflection anymore. So that is what the P's wanted to share with us in today's POV to just help us with some of these things that we're trying to let go of. We just haven't quite figured out how to do it. So that is what the P's wanted to share with us in this week's POV. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.